We are here with the 2018 Winter Art Bento Box. This is going to be the last box for a while. I've been doing this for 3 years and I want to kind of retool the box, retool what's going into it, and maybe look at new ways of doing art supplies and projects and all of that, maybe just do videos. So if you're getting one of these boxes, it is going to be the last one for a while, but it is chock full of awesome and we're going to get into it right now. I'm excited about the supplies in this box. Really, I say that every video if you watch them all, but each box is different, so they're always a lot of fun to like get into and play with the supplies. So let's get right in. Of course, we have the menu card that has all of the items in the box. The main course, everybody gets the same. Fruits and vegetables, a variety is the spice of life, and dessert, a little something extra. This dessert in this box is something that I personally designed, so that's kind of cool. We have tissue paper, and then the supplies in the box. So in this box, we have a little wrapped set of art supplies, a basics color of paint, each one of those is different, a Conte Paris 4-pack, so opened, this looks like a little matchbox with 4 different Conte crayons in it, which I'm going to show you here in a moment. So you have 4 different colors. They're neutrals. We're going to be using this for the project here in a second. We have a paper pack. In the back of the paper pack is our substrate. And this substrate is a Strathmore natural colored pastel paper, which goes great with these Conte crayons. So we're going to be doing something on that. And then of course we have an ephemera pack. In this ephemera pack is the dessert. So this little robot sticker, these are vinyl stickers. I designed the robots, had stickers printed. I love stickers, they're always fun. And these are robot emotions. So everybody has, there's one robot emotion in each one, and I think there's a couple of different ones out there. So I'd love to see which one you get. Post a picture of your ephemera pack, that'd be awesome. Hashtag Art Bento Box or hashtag Drawriot so I can see them. So in this, we're going to use the paper, the Conte crayons. Let's put these aside. We're going to use the supplies that are in this little pack. I already have one opened. In this pack comes a pastel in a color, so everyone's is different. A 8B pencil from Faber-Castell. And then a couple of different blending tools. There is a Colorfin soft applicator. That's this. It looks like a little, something you might use for makeup, but that is for art supplies. And a blending stump, which are great for blending supplies. So that's what's in there. And we're gonna be doing a little illustration here. Feel free to go through the rest of this card and look at all the awesome stuff in the box, but we're gonna get right to the project. I love doing things on a colored paper because colored paper gives you a background, a color already. You're not starting with white, you're starting with a ground, and it becomes a color within your illustration. So we're going to be illustrating something. I had a walk outside in the winter, and this is off of a tree. It started to bud and then it froze, and so we have kind of a little frozen in time, almost looks like a little rosebud, but it is part of a tree that buds in the spring typically. And we're gonna do a little illustration of this with these supplies right here. Like I said, this becomes your ground, so you already have color to start with. I like to start with some basic shapes, and you can draw anything around you. You know, you could even draw a pencil, you could draw a tube of paint, anything you want. If you want to go outside and pick something up that's natural to go with your natural tones that you'll be using, that's a great option too. So I like to start with a basic shape here. It's almost, this leaf is almost kind of a heart. So I'm drawing kind of an upside down heart and kind of bringing it around there. And I'm going to sketch in where that stem starts to come in and really just giving myself some frame of shape to work with. So this outside of these leaves come up and around and kind of hug this main flower body right here. And I'm not gonna draw that in, I'm just gonna put some basic scribbled lines and just get some marks because I'm going to be using these Conti crayons. So again, bringing the stem down, and also just a very loose sketchy line, putting in this bud here, and I'm going to put kind of the darker leaf part. It kind of hugs around it like that. Kind of comes onto the stem there. There's another little bud a little bit further down here, hugging that as well. And I'm going to put the actual buds in with these Conti crayons. And then we'll get to using these blending tools. So for this, since I already have this medium color, I'm going to actually start with a little bit of white. These are great. They're really soft. They go down really easily. And I'm gonna put in some highlight first and then build color around that and then blend together. So I'm really seeing where the light is hitting. That's where I'm putting in the white. I'm gonna come in right next to it with just a little bit of color right next to that white. And then come in and put some brown. There's a little bit of really dark kind of line vein hitting right there. Maybe blend in some brown on the edges of this petal and onto the stem. And then I am going to use some of this black, but not quite yet. I'm going to blend these in. So I'm going to start with this soft applicator, and it really has a really smooth blending, which is going to be very different than this stump, which I'm going to use in a minute. So this is really just kind of pushing color around and bringing that color to life a little bit on the paper. And you can see where the paper still shines through. And that's the great thing about having a ground. A lot of master artists started and painted their own grounds when they worked, but they also worked on a lot of natural papers. Because it's nice to start with color right in your background. It gives you something to start working with. I'm going to come back in with this pencil, add a little definition. Then I'm going to work that stump into this pencil. So this 8B is a really soft lead. And you're going to see here, this gets you a really point to blend with. So I'm bringing that pencil kind of to life and pushing it around with this stump. The nice thing about having a stump versus using your finger is you can really control this point, and I can almost use it like a pencil itself to really blend that graphite and really control where it goes. So when you have a colored ground like this, you're really almost popping your shapes off of that paper versus trying to draw everything in there for yourself. So I'm going to go in, there's a little bit of a line here on this bud, which I'm going to add, and I kind of highlighted it with this color. I'm going to kind of use some quick hash marks. Those are marks crossing over each other. Kind of show that, and do some over here as well. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of white. Again, I'm creating contrast with that dark graphite with some white next to it. Put that line back in there. I'm going to go back in with the soft applicator. Blend that in a little bit. And really, what's fun about the Conti crayons is really just to play. You're almost kind of pushing color back and forth. I'm going to go in with this black and just use that very sparingly here. And just push that in just a little bit. And that creates a nice contrast and kind of shows depth against that white. Make these little buds white. And then go in, I have color on this, so I'm going to use the color I have on this to kind of push that down and kind of push it back a little bit. And now I'm going to use this Faber-Castell Pit Pastel, and I have kind of a turquoisey color here. To really, there's no turquoise in this natural object, but I really love doing kind of mixed media look where you have kind of a pop of color that's a little surprising. And it just adds some interest, especially because you wouldn't expect it to be in there. And this is where you have a little of your own artistic license to say, what do I want to put in here? How do I want it to feel? It really changes the look of this. And I'm going to use the stump here to really, again, control the blending of that color. And just adds some visual interest. And kind of bringing this little study of nature to life. There we go. A little signature can always make your artwork look finished. And there's a really fun, quick illustration. I love doing little studies. These are great in sketchbooks. Again, trying out this paper because it has a color to it already, and just allowing yourself to explore and play a little bit of illustration with maybe some supplies that you have never used before. Until next time, like I said, this is going to be the last box for a while, but there's all these videos over the last 3 years. Check them all out. Improvise if you don't have all the supplies, and I hope you have an awesome 2019. See you later. Bye.